I came home early to surprise my wife, but I was surprised to see her coworker there.
Maybe it was a work meeting?
Oh, they were working all right. They were grinding real hard. Recently, I learned the term monkey branching, and I can't tell if what happened last night is my spouse doing some form of this. My past drama is certainly clouding my judgment, so I need some help. By the way, this comes from...
Wait, sorry, read that. I just have a question after you read that.
By the way, this comes from Make My Week Better, and if you want to send in your own stories, go to r/OKStorytime subreddit, resume pause.
What is monkey branching?
Riley, what is monkey branching?
Monkey branching is a form of...
It's a form.
It's a form.
The form.
Monkey branching is this like really cool thing.
Yeah, so
where
cool.
It refers to a dating behavior where someone actively seeks out and pursues potential new partners while still in a current relationship.
Swing into the next thing.
Yeah, sort of like if someone has a roster. Like, if like they're like seeing someone, but they're like, oh, I could also see someone else.
I don't think that's true.
Dude, I'm feeling a little bit of some calling out energy, some shrapnel.
And if it were true, it wouldn't apply to me anymore.
Yeah, Riley. Come on. Now some background. Partner, 32 female, and I, 36 male, have been together for just over 8 years. Married with one child, mostly a very love-filled relationship. We had our disagreements, but they always ended in some form of care and compassion and compromise or resolution. We love to see it. Both independent, educated, swap between working and being a stay-at-home parent. We both have full-time careers in the medical field and each our own side business that we run from home. I have no reason to distrust her. Where's the problem?
There's no problem. They're just monkeys enjoying the jungle right now.
I can't see it.
But I fear there may be a tiger lying in wait to eat these monkeys.
Jaguars.
Beat them out.
Or yeah, maybe a jaguar.
I can't do it as well as Sam. Because it's really loud, like a real tiger.
I feel like I just sound like a small tiger.
Yeah.
A cat.
Meow. Recent past, during pregnancy and after our first child, we had some major disagreements and had an enormous loss of trust and communication between us. She was later diagnosed with postpartum depression and, do you know PPA? Postpartum. We know postpartum depression.
Anxiety.
Anxiety.
I'm just guessing.
That sounds accurate. Is that right, Riley? Are we on the money or are we?
I think it's close.
Let us know.
Oh, no, I got it now.
Yep. He's back, ladies and gentlemen. The greatest producer.
Sorry.
You're good.
PPD stands for postpartum depression and PPA stands for postpartum anxiety, and PPP means I have to pee right now.
So I was on the money.
Ooh, 3 true facts. And she started medication after that. And we both started marriage counseling recently. We both have feelings of being hurt, disrespected, unheard, and unloved by the other. Both are 100% valid. We hurt each other. I have doubts that she loves me in the same deep way she used to, but I'm willing to trust her when she tells me. I voice this to her often recently. So we got some communication going on. Everything seemed to be moving forward until I came home last night. Hopefully she did not do the same.
Oh.
I should back up.
Hopefully she didn't do the same.
Oh, God. She went on a day-long hike yesterday with some friends to go foraging.
Nice.
You know what happens is foraging.
Okay, what?
Knives, whenever they forge swords and knives, they have to beat it with a hammer.
That's forging, not foraging.
They're looking for like berries.
Yeah, foraging is like foraging for berries and nuts. Foraging. You're thinking take out the A and then you're foraging.
Foraging.
Yeah, that hurts my brain.
And then foraging.
What? How could they do that to a word?
Guys, let's all submit to Merriam-Webster to get that word changed for Riley because I agree. I agree.
And that's a crime.
Everyone send them a letter.
Riley is working so hard. And you do this?
He literally became a dyslexic man is the producer of a reading show. Come on. What more can he do?
He's breaking the glass ceiling.
Just give him that, okay?
And you're putting another one above him?
God.
I'm sorry.
And he has to forage his way out. Golly.
Yeah.
So one of these people was a coworker, 21-ish male. Young kid, again, they're like 32 and 36. Young kid works on the floor with her as a nurse. It's overnight shifts. So they have a lot of time to hang around the nursing station. I know they talk. I know they talk on Messenger. I have no problems with my wife having friends of any flavor. He had come over a couple of times.
What does that mean? Any flavor.
Any flavor.
Okay.
He had come over a couple times before the hikes and seemed pretty shy and nervous around me, but he's a kid. He seems super cool. A few weeks ago, my wife had to wait for the pharmacy to open up to pick up her pills. She ran out. So in order to wait, they went up hiking a mountain together after work. But when she got home, she had forgotten to actually go get her pills and had to make the 2-hour round trip drive to get them the next day. Something didn't feel right.
Something's afoot.
Something is afoot.
Yeah, it definitely doesn't take you 2 hours to go there and back. What were you doing?
Foraging.
Taking the long way home.
Stop and smell the flowers.
Oh, him stopping to smell you. I'm going to stop there. Anyways, back to yesterday and her hike with the friends and going out foraging. He, the kid, came by in the morning so that way they could carpool. My lovely wife gave him a couple of books on foraging, etc. What is foraging maniacs over here? As gifts when he arrived. It seemed a little bit awkward receiving them. They took off, brought our child to the babysitter and went foraging, and he left his car at our place. When I got home from work, I decided I want a little time to myself for the first time in 2 years. I threw a sleeping bag and pad in my backpack and went out cowboy camping on top of my favorite local peak. I texted my wife that I wouldn't be home for tonight and that I'd see her in the morning. Wow, that's kind of random. You're just like, hey babe, I'm just going to the wilderness tonight.
Like, hey babe, I know you're out foraging. I'm gonna be out communing with nature.
These people really like nature.
It's kind of sad knowing the title because it feels like they're made for each other.
It does though.
Yeah,
it does. She loves foraging. He just needs a night with. Oh, and they had the perfect setup, Sophia.
Yeah.
God.
She just had to go and ruin it.
Honestly, the hike and peak was awesome. Read my book, smoked a J with some kids having a fire on the other lookout, and it was really fun. I felt great. Then my sleeping pad deflated. I didn't bring a effing patch kit, so that sucks, but it's only 9 p.m. I'll just come down, scoot on home, and go see my wife. We had just missed being intimate the last week. Lots of hugging and touching and lead up, but timing just didn't work out. And so instead of texting her, I thought I'd surprise her.
Oh, we missed the moon.
It's
Oh, we
like,
missed wait.
yeah, the golden hour. We had to wait. We missed the window.
It's when the babbling brook tries to water down, but then the salmon create a blockade.
Yeah, she didn't forage enough nuts that we.
She didn't collect enough nuts.
I was gonna say like haven't found the berries yet or something, but wow. Sophia Donner, ladies and gentlemen.
That's what you forage for, nuts and berries.
That is, God, what
You're gonna tell me that I'm wrong?
No, I'm telling you, you are right.
No, you are all left.
So she had texted me earlier around 7 p.m. That she was back home and that by 8 p.m. our kid was down sleeping and she was back up with all her mushrooms and ramps and stuff. Who are these people?
Who are you?
Oh man, sent pictures. It looks like an awesome day.
I know who they are. I know exactly who they are.
Like the literal people, like a story read before.
I know what type of people they are.
You know what type of people?
Swingers?
Trolls.
Oh.
Little fairy woodland creatures. Foraging, mushrooms, always hiking. Come on. Come on.
You're gonna tell me that I'm wrong?
Like trolls in a fairy tale.
Exactly. This might be.
Mask, I love that for you.
Shout out to Mask. What did Mask say?
That they're reading the book that I'm reading.
Oh, let's go.
But dude, am I wrong?
Sophia out here giving free sponsors.
Always.
No, I think you're right. They're like, yeah, they're definitely some like fairy tale forest creatures over
And
here.
everyone knows that fairies are non-monogamous, so
Honestly, not surprised.
everyone knows that.
Not to profile, but sorry for all you fairies out there. But
That's like common fairy culture.
Yeah, are they Smurfs?
dude, I do not want to know what they
Smurfette?
do. They're blue all over the place. Anyways,
Smurfs are asexual.
actually,
I'm pretty sure. There was a whole thing about it.
asexual kings and queens. Let's freaking go.
John, we're going to get back to the story,
Yeah.
but you're Oh.
You're as old as me now, pal.
I might be as old as you, but I feel like you have oodles more wisdom.
I've got some wisdom in this old noggin.
You got
baby.
a piece of wisdom for me right now?
Always respect your
And I think the other piece of wisdom that I've learned from John is join OK Storytime memberships.
Yeah, that's freaking right. We have 60 plus hours of exclusive live streams on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays.
It's only $5 a month, so go to the link in our description, youtube.com/OKOP show/join.
Get it now while I'm still alive.
Now back to the story.
So when I pulled in the driveway around 9:45 p.m., the kid's car was still parked in the driveway. A bit odd that he stayed over around for the hour it took while my wife put our kid to bed, and a couple hours more after that. So I came inside, and it really didn't seem like anything was off. He was still awkward, and my wife was a bit talkative, but she had had a great day and wanted to talk about it, and I like to hear about it. They had a microscope out on the table with specimens around.
Oh.
What kind? Nothing suspicious at all, honestly, but I felt something deep in me. Oh, this is a long story. I just realized that. So I was sweaty and gross, so I excused myself and took a shower. Here, I have probably to relay some trauma. My only other serious adult relationship ended in betrayal when my partner, 25 female, fell for a much younger man, 19 male, a coworker who she told me I had nothing to worry about.
Come on. She fell for a 19-year-old man? Come on. That's a child.
And like, we don't know OP's age there, but he was probably around the same age. Like,
yeah. That's embarrassing for her.
Like, dude, imagining if I'm a woman, imagining dating a 19-year-old guy.
A 19-year-old man.
Dude, no.
I don't even want to date a 22-year-old man. I can barely date a 23-year-old man.
Yeah, I see it.
None of them want relationships.
It's true. They're too busy foraging for nuts. Okay? But we're not giving those out over here. Okay. So, that's right, Riley. That's right. That's right, okay? I was not expecting that. She told me that he had feelings for her, but it wasn't mutual. He wasn't her type. She preferred men like me, tall, less flighty, and more masculine. I trusted her.
Dang.
In a horrifying series of events, I would learn from a friend that my past partner and the previous kid were seen together, and she had spent the night at his place. I was out of town at the time. Between the time...
Wow. First agreement. Okay.
Between the time I learned of them together and the day before I was able to come home, she had, oh my God, she had passed away in a car accident. Oh my God.
The ex?
The ex, the ex that cheated.
Oh my God, that's traumatic.
Oh my God. I came home expecting to seek answers for things that I had heard, only to find out that she was gone forever. It effed me up for years, probably permanently, which is why I am coming to Reddit strangers for advice. I don't think I can be a good judge of my current situation because of my past. It hits me too hard from a place I can't understand. With all the similarities, it is just a lot. So needless to say, coming out of the shower, I had a lot of feelings, but I kept composed. I absolutely do not want to discourage my wife from having friends or enjoying hobbies with those friends, and I trust her. When I came out to the kitchen to eat with them and chat, his car was pulling out of the driveway. I guess he had to get his mom's car back by 3 a.m. Boom, psh. Freaking kid.
How old is this guy?
21.
And they're how old?
Wife is 32. Husband is 36. OP is 36.
Dang. So he's like experiencing this trauma again of the wife going for the younger man.
Yeah.
Eee.
And low key, dude, 32 and 21 is like, that's even, it's obviously bigger, but it just like feels even crazy.
But also just like, yeah, an interesting friendship vibe, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I guess like if you're stuck on the night shift at the hospital.
Yeah, you got to make friends with whoever.
It's mandatory.
Yeah.
Yeah, your buds.
Watch OK Storytime.
And not make friends.
Yeah.
It is a statistic that nurses are the profession that cheats the most.
Is that true, or is that just a Riley statistic?
No, it's a true statistic.
Riley has looked this up multiple times on this show.
Yeah.
And from what we've seen, we don't know. Let's get the source. Let's get a source. Yeah, read us a sourced one right now, real quick.
You want a effing chart?
Tony Spiliaco says, is OP one of those insecure guys who's been wronged by a previous partner and subconsciously tests the loyalty of subsequent paramours? That's the feeling I'm having right now. Yeah, possibly.
Possibly, but it seems like he's hesitant to do
Boom.
anything by feeling controlling.
Read it and weep. Medical field. Women.
Dillinger Investigations.
I do not trust that website, man.
You don't trust? Fine. I'll find another one.
Riley's gonna get it.
I'm not against people getting their nut off. I'm just speaking facts.
As long as it's like not cheating or anything.
Mm-hmm.
Important distinction. Forage smartly.
Mm-hmm.
Big brain.
Forage ethically.
Forage ethically. Thank you,
Yes.
Sophia.
Thank you.
That's what my wife said, which I found a weird thing to say. He could leave by 2 a.m. then. That's not a reason for leaving right now, but whatever. I'm going insane inside and maybe can't understand why that was said. Wife and I chatted. I think she could tell something was off, so she offered a massage, but honestly, I really didn't feel like being touched. I think I was having a bit of anxiety. She asked me what's wrong. I told her I think that some of my past is effing with me. She asked if it was because he was over so late after our kid was asleep. I said yes. I asked if she had feelings for him. She said no.
Well, there you have it.
Right?
Case closed.
I asked if he had feelings for her. She said, I don't know. I don't know. Because remember what happened in the last scenario. She
said, I don't have feelings for him, but he has feelings for me.
It's getting...
I think that if you think that someone has feelings for you and you're like in close quarters with them and you have a relationship, you gotta shut that down. Make it
lay
real
down
clear.
the law.
Yeah, real clear.
Just be like, yo, I'm glad we don't have to go insane on this night shift, but...
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you're catching vibes for me, and I just want to put a wall up real quick.
Sells. They know how to talk and lie and get what they want. 2, teachers.
Really?
3, healthcare.
Well, there you go. It's not the topmost, but it's up there.
It's up there, ladies and gentlemen.
Least likely to cheat. Nerds.
And, well, I mean, we have a reputable source, Yahoo.
Yahoo Finance. Hey, man.
Yahoo Finance.
I passed my driver's license or my driver's permit test through Yahoo Answers.
You didn't just take like they give you like a free test that has all the answers on it. Like the DMV gives you a free practice test.
I don't know if they do that in Florida.
Okay, well
they give I'm sure they give a
yeah,
practice
they give
test.
you a practice test and it has like all of the answers on it.
Yep.
Well, I said Yahoo Answers has all the answers, so why would I stress myself
Well,
out?
there you go.
Right here, men, blue-collar men, and women in the medical field. Nothing against people in the women in the medical field or blue-collar men. Just putting that out there.
Just you better watch out.
Riley's just relaying the facts as he sees them.
Riley's
I
just
am
the
the
messenger.
Thank you.
Opie continues. I pressed her on it because, in my opinion, my wife has a eternally frustrating habit of trickle-truthing when she knows it's something I don't want to hear. And then she said in a long string, he's just a dumb young kid. He doesn't know what he's doing. I don't even think he likes mushrooms. I just think he likes being around me. But I don't find him attractive at all. Like, at all. He's not my type. You're my type. OP. I love you. And only you.
Sounding scarily close to his other experience.
Eerily similar.
I think I would be, if I were in OP situation, I'd be like, okay, well then you need to like set him straight. You need to go and tell him like, hey, we have to put up boundaries.
Yep. I should say I did really feel like she was being honest, but she did know the kid had feelings for her. But she's right. He's young and dumb and probably doesn't understand what he's attempting to do, but he is attempting it, and she knew it. I then realized that I had my sleeping pad not blown and I had come home. It's possible I could have never known what had happened or if he was there or how long or anything. Again, he only came home because his sleeping pad deflated. That sent me spiraling inside a little bit. After more discussion, to her defense, she said things like, I was uncomfortable too having him over that late, though I'm not sure what to think.
What? Just send him home.
Yeah.
It's your house.
Yeah, just be like,
Oh, I'm getting really tired.
yeah, I'm getting really tired. Or like, oh, I'm gonna have some alone time with the baby now.
Yeah, or like, yeah, I gotta make sure the kid's okay.
No is a complete sentence. It's true. Again, I don't want to stop my wife from having friends or ruining her relationships with coworkers. And my past might be playing a nefarious role in my gut, shooting up the effing bat signal, screaming at me that my relationship is damaged beyond repair and my wife is entertaining other men, seriously or unseriously, as a response to that. Am I right to be distraught over him being so late, the only night I've ever been gone, when she kind of sort of knew he had feelings for her? I'm feeling pretty effed up today because but can't tell if it's from today or just reliving the past back then. Relevant comment.
Excellent.
But we need to talk.
Let's talk.
What are you thinking right now? He's basically asking,
Yeah.
Am I crazy? Am I just, is this just because of my past situation? Should I say anything? What do you think he should do in this?
I don't know if she's necessarily cheated at this point.
Yep.
But I do think that she has been disrespectful, perhaps, to their relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that OP could just say, like, hey, I'm not accusing you of anything.
Yes.
But I think that I would be more comfortable if you do not have a person that you know has feelings over late at night, especially with her kid at home while I'm not here.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like, second thing, I would also like you to tell him that, like, you know, hey, we have to have like a professional relationship.
A boundary. Yeah. Like, hey, you know, it's great that we can chat. We're on the late shift. It's all great. But like, you know, I have a husband and I just don't want to give you any ideas
Yeah.
anything will happen here and vice versa. So just like we are, you know, we work together. We're like office friends, you know, but that's kind of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I think too, I feel like if he expresses it in a way of like, to be quite honest, I feel like if he just almost vocalizes what he's thinking through in his head, which is like, I don't want to be controlling. I don't want you to feel like you have to, you know, get my permission to do things or change or me have you feel like you have to change your life in any way. But given this like very traumatic experience in my past, it's kind of causing me a lot of anxiety and I'm just kind of feeling overwhelmed and like don't know what to think.
Yeah. I think that's very fair.
Yeah, and he's just like, "Hey, this is just what I'm feeling, and I'm unsure of what to do here because I don't want to be controlling in your life." If a wife is a sane, rational, loving person, I feel like she'll totally understand that.
I agree.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we got some other relevant comments.
I have a relevant comment.
Please.
I'm trying to find. I was trying for the past 5 minutes finding the guy's name, the pilot's name. There was a pilot that got hijacked 3 separate times. This could just be happening to this guy.
Mm-hmm.
Where like every relationship he gets into, some younger fella takes his gal away.
Oh my God,
I agree.
that would be insane and awful.
Sorry, I don't agree. I wasn't paying attention because I was telling Keon that he has to do another episode.
Oh yes, yeah.
So I have no idea what you just said.
that he's
Nah,
gonna
I don't
have
know what I agreed
the
to.
girlfriend cheat and pass away 3 times.
Whoa, I don't agree with that. Damn, whoa.
I mean, it's following a pattern here.
Oh man. Also, really quick, Tonis Pilikis, I think,
Tony
up in the chat. Oh yes,
Spiliakos.
Spiliakos. Thank you. His running off with no prior heads up was prior notices concerning. I also kind of felt that a little bit. It's just like, hey, I'm just like not going to sleep at the house. Maybe that's their vibe. She didn't seem to have a problem with it.
It depends on what their vibe is because it seems like they're pretty outdoorsy. So it might just be like, hey, going camping.
Maybe they've done that before.
Yeah.
If that's their vibe, great. Which it low-key seems like she didn't have a problem with it. So
Yeah.
maybe, but I digress. We have some relevant comments as
Woo.
well from the story. So commenter number 1 says she needs to cut this kid off completely. Few people intend to start affairs. They happen when someone outside the relationship starts paying them attention and they don't stop it immediately. Oh, he's just a friend. He's nothing to worry about. He's not even my type. All of those things have been said. She may not be having an affair, or at least she doesn't realize it. The medical profession, for some reason, is rife with infidelity.
Whoa, that's what Riley said.
That's what Riley said. Perhaps more than any other.
Whoa, that's also what Riley said.
Oh, here we go. And they've brought receipts. This is a study from 2021. A descriptive study was carried out studying the association of certain variables. In total, 367 volunteer participants completed an online survey. Of them, 21% either have or had an unfaithful relationship. Most of those were doctors, 81%, and men were most likely to cheat. It showed, make sure that she's not in the 2 out of the 10. I'm not sure what the commenter means by that.
Like saying, so there's 20%. So it's 80% of men are like out of the field. So that leaves 20%. So 2 out of 10.
Right.
Math.
I can't do it. OP replied, yeah, another commenter talked about setting boundaries. What you got, Riley?
Lou Ebates, 42 male, got hijacked 3 times, survived a plane crash. Thank you.
That was he was a pilot or
He was a pilot. He was a freaking pilot.
Wow. I mean, I guess that makes sense because you'll be on planes the most.
Yep. Prior to the crash, Lou had experienced 2 previous hijacks.
Dang.
Dude, I'm just saying, if this could happen to a pilot, this can definitely happen to a guy in a relationship.
Oh, dude, please no.
I'm not saying the death part, but I'm just saying getting swept away by a younger guy.
Okay, so
Lightning strikes. Except
okay, that was a good clarification.
That's what I meant by that.
I see. I also love how this guy is like your personal hero.
Yeah.
He's like survived 3 plane
It was
hijackings.
bothering me so much. I had to find his name.
Well, OP replies to this comment. Yeah, another commenter talked about setting boundaries. I think I'll ask her what boundaries she thinks are appropriate, smart, and kind of get a feeling of her headspace based on what she says. The problem is not that my wife is conventionally extremely attractive. Whoa. I know how the medical field is. We all witness a bunch of horrible crap and beautiful and crap and difficult crap all together, and trauma bonding happens. She has no shortage of male attention. I'm sure it's the same at work, but has never given me any indication ever, honestly, that she was searching elsewhere until this guy.
Ooh.
Crap. Yeah, okay. You might have a really good point. Hope he's like, oh, wait a second. Commenter number 2 says, whatever's going on, your wife is not doing a very good job of alleviating any doubt. I think even without your trauma, you'd be maybe not distraught, but certainly suspicious and skeptical. The trauma is just making you feel this more intensely, I believe. You may need to ask/demand your wife stop seeing this kid outside of work. I know you've been hesitant to create boundaries on her friendships, but this is growing beyond the pale. If she respects you and the marriage, she'll understand your point of view and limit contact outside of work. If she fights you on this, you should ask her why this friendship is more important than causing your husband to be distressed. That I think is a good.
I don't think you should go in with the demand, but I think absolutely bring it up.
Yeah, absolutely bring it. And again, yeah, it's like, hey, this is, even if she doesn't fully grasp it, I think in every relationship there's a thing where one person will not feel or see the gravity of the thing the other feels.
Sure.
In this case, it's like, oh, I'm just friends with the kid. It's like no big deal. But it's like, okay, especially given OP's traumatic history, it's like, you know what? Is my helping my husband relieve his anxiety and everything in this scenario worth it?
Yeah.
The answer is not always yes by any means, but specifically in this context, it just might be. It just might be. Don't let her keep apologizing to you after the fact. Someone who respects you won't keep putting themselves in a position to need to apologize. Commenter number 3 says, at best, she's using the dude to stroke her ego. At worst, she's cheating.
Worse, she's using the dude to stroke.
Period. Either way, the way she's behaving is not okay. And we have an update.
See, someone says the TLDR says wife is money branching. I believe it's supposed to say monkey branching.
Hey, fair enough.
She's certainly not money branching if she's, talking to a 21-year-old.
That's true. There we go. I was about to say Riley. Now it says monkey branching. We're inventing all the terms today.
Foraging.
Do we have any predictions? Any conspiracy theories?
I predict
Yep.
that something has already possibly happened. I think whether that be like he tried to make a move and she was like, no, I've got a husband, but she doesn't want to tell OP. And so she's like, oh no, like nothing happened.
Yeah. That's because like it's even way more plausible that he just made a move. Could have been very subtle, could have been less subtle, and that she turned it down. But she's like, okay, well, A, if I tell my husband, it's like I didn't tell him first.
Yeah.
B, he sees me still trying to be friends with him. So it's like that, it makes her look horrible,
yeah.
But it's like, you got to tell the truth.
You got to tell the truth.
You can't live a lie.
Ain't that the truth?
I think just the way that, we've seen, actually it would be fun to get statistics on our own stories on like
on how right we are.
No, well, that would be fun too. That would be fun too.
Like how many people this happens to.
How these scenarios play out, like in just all the stories where cheating is accused of, how many of those were actually cheating, which is kind of slanted because most of the banger ones are the ones that the crazy ones are making on the show. But yeah, I think I'm gonna take it just a step further and say that there was some full-blown two-way cheating.
Okay.
Yep.
I guess we'll find out.
I'm putting it
Who's right?
on the board. But before you get bored, I'm getting into this next update. So, for the days after, we talked a lot. She was adamant that she wanted nothing to do with him, okay? Has no feelings other than their friendship. And now that she was aware of both A, the possibility of him trying, it is true, I or she still don't know his intentions, and B, my reaction to her behavior, leaving out his presence later with her with her in text messages to me after carpooling / putting the kid to bed, trickle-truthing me on her view of his possible intentions, etc., etc. She said that she doesn't want anything to do with him. No, just no. She's ready to shut it down.
Shutting it down. Okay.
Shutting it down. Okay. That we think is that innocent behavior?
Shutting it down?
I guess it could be both.
I feel like it could be good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or I meant innocent behavior in that, like, is that what she would do if she didn't cheat with him? Or I feel like it kind of plays both.
I think it could. It doesn't tell us yet.
She offered her phone up if I wanted to see their conversations, and she did a location sharing thing on her phone. It was pretty clear that this was all some BS, and she hated that the situation ever became a thing. She was losing a friend, but was more than willing to.
Okay.
Even further, I'm smelling innocence.
Mm-hmm.
It's giving a sniff of innocence. We set some boundaries. People over late at the house, just let the other person know. Obviously, family doesn't count. Just to avoid any possibility of any interference, better to let each other know who is in our house that late, one-on-one. For people who may feel that we have hints of intentions beyond platonic, we should overshare with each other. Thanks, helpful commenter. Not overanalyze every relationship, but just things like, hey, Doc X said this weird thing today. Also, Doc X sounds like a villain in a comic.
Yeah.
That's fun. Or new guy at Foraging seemed to like me a lot. He was looking for those nuts. Stuff like that. Don't we all know that? I don't want to be a controlling person. I'm not that person, but maybe because of my history, I require more openness and communication about things like that in a relationship, which I just got to applaud OP real quick. I think is a great and self-aware thing.
And he's communicating that that's what he needs.
Boom.
Excellent work.
That's it.
10 out of 10.
That's the thing, ladies and gentlemen. She told me I was being too worried about her feelings / me being controlling, and that she was more than willing to do anything it took to rebuild any trust that was broken from the situation. The second session of marriage counseling, and obviously the topic came up first. I started to give a brief history, but got interrupted by her child upstairs. I gave them some attention and came back down to continue. When I got to the part of coming home, taking the shower, and then confronting my wife, I can't remember who said what, but it was interrupted. Talking happened, and then the therapist said, it sounds like wife recognized what happened and your past. Wife said that she didn't know how a close / similar some of the details were, and the conversation moved on from there. The omission of his presence in text messages, trickle-truthing, none of that was brought up. But things were looking up.
Okay.
I'm not sure I like the therapist, but whatever. Things seemed to be good. She seemed fairly contrite, though I really was still bothered by the red and orange flags planted in my little mind garden. Fast forward a week, something like that. I effed up.
Oh, no.
I guess I'm glad I did, but I did F up.
Oh, no. What does that mean?
There's only one way to find that out.
Uh-oh. I feel like he snooped on her phone or something.
Ooh.
And now I feel like she cheated.
That's a great conspiracy theory. That's a great conspiracy theory. Hannah says, so communicate? And yeah, there's ways to hide stuff beyond texting. Maybe I'm being cynical. Right. So basically
maybe
saying,
rightfully so.
Yeah. Maybe she was using some other app, but she was like, hey, here's my location. Here's my text. But it's like, nah, you don't know about my little secret box over here. I don't sleep much, maybe 5 hours max. I was up early, garden tending. Again, these people love nature. And made some breakfast for the little one and coffee for her, as usual. I saw her, the wife, not the baby. I saw her work bag on the floor, and I saw her journal in there. And well, boyo, don't you know, I effed up and read it.
No.
Mm-hmm.
Class. Oh, man. And this is the point of no return. This is if you're not right, then your relationship is going to be messed up. And if you are right, then your relationship is already messed up.
Because you broke the trust, my friend. I wanted to know if he, the 21-year-old male, was in her journal. For some context, I read the journals of my late partner who fell into eternal sleep over a decade ago, and it was a stupid, horrible mistake.
Do you just like date people who journal?
Yeah, this dude really has a habit of just ending up in scenarios that just completely
Very
repeat
similar.
themselves. Kind of crazy. I read things that I shouldn't have. Very raw thoughts, feelings, and a pros and cons list of me and crap like that. That would have been insane.
That is
insane.
really, really tough to read, but also these were supposed to be her private thoughts. Like these
Exactly.
aren't things that she's necessarily like. She's probably, hopefully, not texting them to her friends or anything. But like a journal is like
It's a private space. Like any space that a person deems private should not be interrupted. Journal, text, like anything. And if you're not sure,
yeah.
then don't do it.
Yeah, like a journal is a place for you. Like it should not have to be filtered because you're worried about other people reading it.
Exactamundo. And this was the journal with the pros and cons list of the passed away ex.
Oh, I thought it was the current one. Oh,
He read both.
Yikes.
He's done it twice. History's repeating itself, unfortunately.
It's a little pattern.
It's a little patterned. Then entries about the other man and her falling in love with him. And her thoughts. Oh wait, let me make sure it's still the same. Okay, so I think it's still the ex's journal.
Yeah.
Of the deceased ex. Then entries about the other man and her falling in love with him, and her thoughts about her conflicted thoughts about leaving me. Near the end, if I recall, she didn't know. She loved us both, but we were so different. I kept the journals. I still have them somewhere, but I didn't burn those last pages about him.
Did burn.
But I did burn those last pages about him.
Wow.
I do recall. This is kind of insane. I do recall telling myself that I was protecting future me. I'm glad I burned those pages, but I'm also glad I kept her journals, but didn't venture to read them anymore. I will again when I'm older to keep her alive in me somehow, I guess.
What?
I was not in this scenario. I don't know how healthy that is.
I don't think it is healthy. What do you mean keep her alive in you?
In a way, it seems like if he kept this side of her, then they were never married. But if he destroys the documentation of her cheating, then she can still be like, I don't know, a partner to him. Does that make sense?
Because they were never even married, I don't think.
Because weren't they together? And then he found out she was cheating, and then she went out, like she got in a car accident right after that, and then he couldn't like confrontate it.
Yes.
So to him, it's like it never even happened. So he's trying to like blur it out because everything was fine and dandy until that.
Yeah.
I don't know, but we know that she cheated. I don't know why you would want to remember that.
Yeah,
and also it's like her personal journal where she's like saying bad stuff about him.
Yeah, if anything, give it to her parents.
Yeah. Why would you want to keep that?
Yeah, that's
so strange.
That's the weirdest thing I've seen OP do so far. If you think we're just totally crazy and off base, go write your paragraphs.
Yeah. Persegribus says to remember a Bible. Like, why would you want to remember?
I don't get it either. When I saw her journals in the bags, I just grabbed them and read the last couple of pages. Innocuous stuff until I got about to a month ago. It said, texted all night and hike Monday. Now, that wasn't me she texted with or hiked on that day. That was him when she forgot to get her prescription. So that meant two things to me. Who writes texted all night in their journal with someone they don't have feelings about? I'm not a journaler person. Well, you seem to love them.
Seem to be an avid reader of them.
Yeah. I don't like my thoughts enough to put them on paper, but that doesn't seem right to me. No name, but definitely him. The dates match. I don't know again. I don't journal, so maybe anything can mean anything in there, but what the actual F? Another point, she had planned on hiking with him. She didn't tell me that. She told me of her plans to go hiking after work to pass the time before the pharmacy opens, but never told me that he was going too. In fairness, she told me afterwards she sent pictures of the hike to me, and his dog was in the photos, but she didn't mention that they had planned it together. It just seemed spontaneous. Low key, kind of like how OP was like, I'm going to go camping for the night.
Yeah.
To be honest. So take that as you will. I never asked, I guess. So yeah, I stopped reading. Kind of felt like I was shot with an arrow. Pretty horrible feeling because I thought things were going to be okay. But now I read this crap.
I'm going to be honest. That is not enough proof. I don't know if that's just me. That feels like not enough proof.
Yeah, I think once again, like anything, not that this justifies it necessarily, but any little indicator seems to just like trigger the trauma for him and make him think that.
Which I think that the girlfriend has, or wait, wife, yeah. I think
Wife,
the wife has done, she has been disrespectful, but I think that OP is, yeah, as you said, like multiplying this disrespect by 10 in his mind and like making every little thing seem just a lot worse.
And like, in fairness, like, I mean, she shared the location. She ended the friendship with him, allegedly. She showed all the texts. Like, again, there could be a way where she's like dumping evidence on him to not make him look in like whatever messaging app she's texting him in. But I don't know. It's a tough one. It was like 6 a.m. at this point. So I went on a run to clear my head and that got the adrenaline going. Some tears too. Oh, got home and they were still sleeping. When they woke up and we were alone, I asked her again if she's tired, because I am, and if she ever developed any feelings at all for him. She said no. I told her I read her journal. I apologized, but I told her I read something and I needed an explanation. She wasn't happy. She told me that those are personal, her thoughts, and not for other people. She was also confused as to what I could have possibly read about him / the situation that needed explaining. She asked me to show her the entry, so I did. Context, they work overnight together. Her response was, oh yeah, we texted a lot that night. He wasn't working, but I was. You know, I wasn't home, right? I was working that night. That does add more context, but
the thing is, I think it could be read either way. And I think OP is only reading it as like, you know, sneaky.
Yeah, because like if they are used to, you know, talking and like, you know, passing the time at the overnight shift together, is it that far of a reach to where when one of them has a night shift when the other isn't there, it's almost like, hey, you know, I'll text you sometimes when you're doing the overnight and then vice versa. So that way, you know, it kind of evens out. They're giving each other the thing to pass the time with.
Yeah.
You know, I
think it could lean either way.
It could lean. Janelle Janik says, hiking with another man and not telling your partner is shady AF. I wouldn't trust her. Yeah,
that's fair.
Yeah, and it seems like they have this like very liberal anything that is around nature.
Yeah,
they're just kind of like, it's just fair game. Just go hike with people, go spend the night spontaneously.
This was planned before they had the conversation, so potentially she might have still been that kind of little bit disrespectful, not really thinking about his feelings, not considering you know what he needed. Or it could be something else. It's
true. I asked, why is it in your journal and why were you planning to hike with him? But when you told me about your plans for that day, you never mentioned you were planning it with him. She said, well, I don't know for sure. I didn't know for sure if he would come. We were talking about it, but I didn't know for sure. As for the texted all night part, she said it didn't mean anything, explaining that journals are fragments, not full thoughts. And she was just writing it. Not as great an answer, but we'll keep going.
Yeah.
I didn't like those answers at all, honestly. We had another long discussion where she reassured me it meant nothing and that it shouldn't be interpreted as anything about her having feelings for him. And I believe her. Obi believes her.
Man still needs like individual therapy if he isn't already doing it.
That's a good question. I don't know if they've explicitly mentioned if they're doing individual therapy.
It's just like, even, you know, either she is cheating on him.
Yep.
Or she's not cheating on him and he's betraying her trust. In asking for her to be more like upfront and, you know, respect boundaries, he's not respecting her boundaries. And so like, you can't really ask someone to do something that you're not willing to do or aren't doing.
And I think you got to call yourself out and acknowledge that.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, here I was trying to set up a boundary and I crossed one of yours. You know,
exactly.
She clearly was not okay with it, which makes perfect sense.
Yeah. Like, you need to very much, if you want to move forward, and again, we don't know yet, like maybe she is cheating, maybe we find that out, but in the scenario that she's not, you have crossed a boundary that you asked her to, you know, respect.
Even with the evidence we have, it's definitely not a smoking a pew pew.
Yeah.
We don't have anything. It's like, okay, she is like unequivocally cheating.
Yeah.
We don't have that right yet. I believe her. I don't know how she journals, so maybe this isn't far out of the norm. I don't know. I have to be honest here. The trust that I had in her, a lot of it left.
You don't believe her.
I love how he's like, I believe her, but
I don't trust her.
Kind of the same thing, which is pretty much the basis of a relationship. A lot of people sent me messages after my post with spy scams and such. Oh my God. If I had to resort to that, I just end the relationship, I thought. Now I'm here and snooping on her journals. 2 days later, the kid and I went out camping at the park for a couple of nights. She was working. We had a blast. And during that time away, I decided it's important for me to know what conversations took place between them. Yes, I snooped, but I think it's reasonable at this point to demand to know just what kinds of things are said to them.
This is really frustrating.
Yeah.
OP, break up with her. Stop doing, or I mean, I know you're married, so I guess that's a little bit harder and you have a child.
Yeah.
But like, stop.
Yeah.
Stop doing this.
I think like it was so crazy because in the beginning of the story, it's usually the inverse.
Yeah.
OP was like,
He was like, I don't want to rush to conclusions. I want to communicate.
I want to try to figure this out with her. Like you said, communicate absolutely everything. And now he's like just completely going back on that incredible intention
Yeah.
and just being like, I'm just going to like be like, I need you to.
Also, just like the stupid thinking of him saying, oh, well, she gave me permission before. It's like, no, you have to, like, in terms of consent, it is an ongoing thing that you have to keep asking for. It's not just like yeah, this applies forever.
This is a recurring subscription, pal.
Yeah, you got to keep asking.
You got to enter your payment info because
This is the am I a robot? You got to click that every time you sign in.
boom, CAPTCHA.
Mm-hmm.
Cap that. She had offered earlier to know more and communicate more. I just never took her up on it because it was really obvious to me that she felt that she had nothing to hide. But after this journal entry thing, yeah, I would like to know what texted all night means.
Then ask her, say, hey, I'm still insecure. I would like to see your phone again, if that's okay.
I think that's essentially what he's saying.
Oh, I thought he was just going to sneak the phone.
Oh, actually, you might be right. He might just sneak the phone.
Yeah.
Tyler says he's very insecure.
Incredibly
in this relationship.
insecure. Yeah. Incredibly so.
You know, we know he has this past situation, but he should do what he was doing in the beginning, which is communicate your feelings, communicate your confusion and the conflict going on within you, and you know, you're not like demanding anything. You're just expressing how you feel, and the conversation kind of goes from there.
Exactly.
Come on now. I thought if the conversation that night was just BS, sure, whatever. If it's more, or if that night is deleted or something, then I'll know. Again, not sure, but I digress. I honestly expected to read those messages, be reassured of her side of the story, and move on. We got home yesterday from camping. Got to get our
gotta get that nature in. Yeah.
This morning I asked her if I could read it if I could read their conversations.
Okay. At least you asked.
At least he asked. I explained why, and without hesitation, she said yes and went to get her phone. She gave it to me, and I started reading. They had been texting recently, mostly innocuous mushroom stuff, then a couple of attempts for him to come over or go out for foraging. I guess he was going to be around our area. He lives an hour away, cruising on his motorcycle, and Riley doesn't like that.
No, just the hour away? He's an hour away saying, hey, when can I come over? Like, yeah, my girl's an hour away, and we plan that, but like, it's because we're in a relationship, not like that we're, I don't know, that's just crazy to me.
Get a girl in your own zip code.
Yeah, come on.
Come on, and your own age, and everything
And
else.
not in a relationship.
Yeah, not married with a kid. So she didn't let him in. She saw my face and asked what was wrong. I put the phone down and I said, I don't want to read anymore. I asked if she had told him about my view on their relationship or what had happened or anything about him/her/I. She said no. I asked again. She said no. She has no clue. She never mentioned any of this to him. I showed her the text and asked her why she would say that. Why would she say no one was allowed at my home? People are allowed in my home. That wasn't any of the boundaries that we set up together. So it's like, he was like, hey, can you tell him, like, I'm not comfortable with you being here? And then she's like, oh, no one's allowed at our house.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah. Changing the truth a little bit.
yeah. He's been there. He's been here clearly. And why would he say that to himself if she's never mentioned anything like that to him before? Her response was that she meant that she wasn't having people over / was busy. She then told me, you were at home that day. I don't get it. Yeah, I didn't read the dates of the text, but even so, why the F would you word it that way? That's not even close to no, I'm busy today, or literally any other million of the ways to say I'm not available today. I'm not allowed to have people at home is entirely different. Lol. it is entirely different. I mean, I don't know that that's necessary. I mean, if you're like, hey, I guess it's weird if you're like, hey, I can't have anyone home right now unless there's like a reason tied to it. But
well, yeah, not allowed is placing direct blame on OP. Because like you can kind of infer like, oh, not allowed. Okay, well, who's not allowing? The person you live with. But yeah, it's a little bit, it is, I will agree, it is weird. It is a weird way to say it. But I honestly think that at this point, they're both like contributing to this kind of very...
I saw a really good comment from Hannah. I'm a bit all over the map here. She's not being honest and he's spiraling.
Yeah, I agree. I would agree.
Yes.
Is this a case of power tripping, Ming Ming?
I think everyone sucks here. I think this is a bad relationship.
Yeah, we've reached the place I think where everyone sucks here. Bethany says wife sucks for having an emotional affair at the very least. OP sucks for how he responds, especially reading her journal.
Agreed. I concur.
Ha ha. Now I cannot see how on earth you get from those words to that meaning she says that she was trying to convey. Maybe I'm wrong. She said she didn't mean it that way. That's not her mother tongue. To be fair, English is not her first language. She's quite fluent and has learned it from childhood, but it's not her primary language. We've spoken exclusively English together for the decade that I've known her. You wouldn't know it if it wasn't her primary language unless you had a good ear. But she's right. Maybe it was just a mistranslation. She said it was clumsy and not meant in any way to convey anything more than I'm not available today. We talked all tomorrow morning when she went to bed. She reassured me that she loves me and only me. I walked through every red flag, every opportunity for her to be open and honest. I asked why she didn't tell me about his recent attempts to meet up again.
All right. She said she didn't know she should have told me. She said she didn't know she had to replay every conversation with him to me. I said she didn't. That's not what I was asking. But I was asking for her to be extra open about her relationship with him, and him asking to come over twice definitely would require her letting me know. I told her she didn't respect me at all. I told her she didn't care enough to tell me. I told her she's not being open and honest with me, that it's not me and her against the world, that this relationship is something else. She reassured me it meant nothing, but now that she sees how that text could be read that way, as if they had discussed him not being allowed in her home, she still denies. She understands why I would react that way. She was frustrated. She said, it feels like a little fly came into my life and crapped all over everything, referring to him and his advances as the cause of what effed this all up.
But you know what you can do to flies, Sophia? Yep. How do you do it? Exactly.
Easy. Psh. Just smack him. Psh. I reiterated to her every step along the way in which she could have been more truthful with me and chose to omit information. And again, I still, I do 100% agree that this wife is being disrespectful and is being either willfully ignorant or just is dumb.
Is ignorant?
Yeah, or is ignorant, which is not necessarily better.
Yeah.
But also, I think he needs to recognize that he is contributing to the downfall of this relationship.
Yes. He needs to go back to what he was thinking first and I don't want my trauma to cause all of this to spiral out, which is, I think, is what is happening.
Agreed. Texting all night and planning the hike. Staying over late after carpooling together after our kid went to sleep. Texting me and not mentioning he was still over. Trickle-truthing me on whether she thinks he's interested in her. His 2 offers to meet via text, messenger, or whatever that I saw didn't look more, that she didn't think to tell me about. And her reply of, not today, not allowed to have anyone at home, LOL, whatever the F that means. Her position is still the same, that this is all bad coincidences and misunderstandings, misreading texts or journal entries, etc. But she says she loves me, has only eyes for me, and better understands now where I'm coming from. So there's my little heck I've got for myself. Personal therapy starting soon, but I guess Reddit therapy will do for now. That's
the best therapy.
It's somehow therapeutic to remember this and type it all out. Sorry, looking back, this is insanely long. It's too long to proofread if crap's garbled. Took me all day to write, I guess. Last post, I felt very overwhelmed by the response. Sorry, I didn't respond to a lot of comments or questions or clarifications. I'll try to do better here since this is probably the final time I'll use Reddit as therapy. Thanks in advance. I guess I should ask, in this field of flags, is there some green grass? I trust my wife. I did. When she tells me she loves me and only me, I'm convinced, or is this all as effed up as the plain reading makes it seem? Because it does seem quite effed. And there are some comments. Should we get into them, or do you have any comments of your own?
Let's dive in.
Comment 1. She's feigning naivety, but not today. Not allowed to have anyone at home. LOL is a text to someone she has either complained to about you before, or she's trying to open the door to do that. Or worse, she's already expressed unhappiness, whether true or not, in your marriage to him, which is the hallmark of an affair. I understand why you would ask not to have people over late at the house for the sake of protecting the children, for example, but this boundary may not be very helpful in this situation since they work together and the guy likely has his own place. And they drive to some places together, LOL. She probably won't leave you for the younger guy, but it seems like she wouldn't mind having some action on the side with him. You really need to make it clear to her what it would cost her if she would carry on like this, so she knows it's not something she can do and still keep her marriage and family together. And OP replies, another commenter said that my focus on the comment was weird and her text seemed okay. My brain can't help but say your reading is the correct one. I mean, it reads exactly like someone who's already said something. I don't want to stop my wife from having friends, but if she volunteered cutting all contact permanently outside of work, it'd go a long way for me, ignoring all the other blaring sirens. But if she doesn't volunteer it honestly, I'd rather just understand that as a sign of the disrespect that seems pretty clear at this point anyway. Thanks for the comment. And comment 2, to me, not allowed sounds like something a child would say sulkily. It really sounds like your wife likes the attention he's giving her and might be lying to you about her true feelings. Also, the fact that she hasn't, because it seems like he still thinks it's okay to like ask her to hang out. So she clearly hasn't set that boundary.
Well, didn't she say that she told him like didn't she? I thought she did.
That's what she said. But I feel like if someone told me, hey, my partner's not really comfortable with us like hanging out or talking, I wouldn't then text them and be like, hey, let's go on a hike.
Yeah.
But maybe he's
Is that the
stupid?
timeline of when it happened?
I think so. Because I think he just asked about the hike. In my honest opinion, it would not be unreasonable to insist your wife cut off this friendship. He's a snake, and she's encouraging him by not setting appropriate boundaries as a married woman. OP replied, one person said the text seemed normal. Seems like everyone else agrees with your reading. I'm inclined to agree too. It's wildly suspicious. The context, the LOL, makes me see red, honestly, if I think about it too much. If it really were that level of disrespect, I can't tolerate that. I emailed our therapist about addressing what we missed in our last session and how to address it. I'll probably share this post with her or read it at the next session or some truncated version of it. Thanks though, appreciate your input. And that is the end of the story.
Everyone just run away from each other.
Yeah, this is not a healthy relationship. You guys have progressed very far. And neither of you are in the right, quite frankly.
And he started off so good and so self-aware.
Yeah.
And then
just downhill so freaking fast.
Now we're just here and I'm sad.
Yeah.
And I don't know what's going on because apparently I'm going crazy.
Agree.
Yeah.
Like we still don't know if she's actually done, if she's cheated.
Yeah.
But she definitely has crossed a lot of boundaries and been very disrespectful of the relationship. And so is OP.
I think it's what you said earlier in the story where it's like, something has happened, even if it's not like he even like made a literal pass, but it's just kind of like that flirtation that she's being willfully ignorant of because maybe she likes the attention.
Agreed.
But if you disagree with us, you can freaking
get in the comments.
Fight us in the comments, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Write down paragraphs of why. Write a soliloquy, a novella of why we're so wrong.
Write it in iambic pentameter.
Do that. But in the meantime, we're going to bid you adieu. So if you love us, make sure to subscribe.
We love you and
see you tomorrow.